Welcome to Mr. R's art class. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thumbs, subs, and ring that bell. So now that you know how to draw hands using a 2D perspective, a two-dimensional perspective, you're going to challenge yourselves and think of fingers as cylinders. So if we're looking at a finger, the three-dimensional shape of a finger would be a cylinder. So we got to start thinking of objects that we see in the real world as forms. So the form of a finger would be a cylinder. So let's go ahead and get started on this first step here. And we could draw the top of the cylinder as an oval. And what you can do is you could draw a longer cylinder here. So from the sides of your oval, you could draw the sides going straight down almost. And then you could evenly divide this up here. So you could have the bottom of the cylinder, and the bottom of each cylinder is basically where your fingers would bend. So we're thinking of each part of our finger as a cylinder. So we would have 1, 2, 3 different cylinders stacked up on top of each other. So then you would have this other curve for the second part of your finger, but then you have the tops going towards the back. Then you would evenly space out this next, the bottom of this next part of your finger. Then you would draw the top part of your finger. So between these two cylinders, that's where your joints are for your fingers. So that's how you can think about it as well. Then the bottom of each cylinder should be curved. Right? We're not thinking of these as straight lines anymore because we're thinking of fingers as cylinders, as a form, as a three-dimensional shape. So each cylinder is giving you an example of how to draw a hand or how to draw a finger going in a different direction. So this finger would be going straight up and down. This finger would be going towards this direction here. This finger would be maybe facing you, the viewer, going towards you. And then this finger or this cylinder would be a finger that's going maybe a downward position. So we would draw each of these cylinders to help us get practice of how to draw fingers in different directions. If we know how to draw cylinders in different directions, then we know how to draw fingers in different directions. If we know how to draw fingers in different directions, then we know how to draw hands in different directions. So that's why we're doing this here, to get a little bit more practice. And remember, if we're drawing the tops of these cylinders and even the bottoms of these cylinders, they shouldn't be straight lines because we're thinking of these as forms. Okay, so except for this one here, this finger that is facing maybe you, the viewer, that is almost a perfect circle, because you're looking down straight, almost down the circle here, or down the center of the cylinder. Alright, so that's the only reason why that's almost a complete circle, because you're looking down the cylinder, because that finger is facing you, the viewer. So then you would complete these cylinders. These cylinders start going different directions, right? Instead of going straight up and down, these cylinders start to bend a little bit. These cylinders start to bend a little bit because it's showing you how to draw a finger in a different direction. So for this drawing down here, I want you to kind of fix the way that this finger is drawn. This finger is drawn incorrectly. The way that it bends is drawn incorrectly. So for a finger, for an index finger, we have three different parts. So we have 1, 2, and 3. And the way that a finger bends is that you have this bottom part that comes down a lot further. Then you have this top part here that is facing, that you could even see as a viewer. Whereas this finger, you could only see this top part, and then the second part here you can't see in this drawing. So I want you to fix the way that this finger is actually drawn. Use your fingers as a reference, use your fingers as a resource, and actually correct the way that this finger should be drawn. All right, and then you would also do these two drawings up here. You would draw it as a cylinder and then draw it with some skin actually around that cylinder as well. So we have two different drawings, one with cylinders and then one drawn as a finger, and then correct the way that these cylinders would be placed as if you were actually fixing the way that that finger is drawn. So again, the second part here of your finger should be facing you. I should be able to see, whereas in this drawing, it's actually drawn incorrectly, and that finger is facing, that part of that finger is facing away from you. Okay, so if you have any questions of how to draw cylinders, or have any questions about how to redraw this finger down here, go ahead and let me know. Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And feel free to watch any of the other related videos.